Welcome back to the channel. Like always, my name is Jose Najarro and I am a self-taught investor looking for new investment opportunities for my long-term portfolio. I am very excited to talk about today's episode. We are going to take a look at the top 20 ETFs based on performance year to date. And I'm very excited because for each ETF, we're going to take a look at things like their holdings, position sizes, who created them, and what sectors they're hitting. So like that, we can understand what makes their portfolio, what makes these ETFs so great, and maybe we can grab some of that information to make our portfolios even better. Before we start, let's make sure to smash that like button. It helps so much with the YouTube algorithm. And on the description and pinned comment, you should also see a link to my Discord channel. It's free to anybody that wants to join. I post every time I buy, I post every time I sell there. And also you should see a link to Weeple, and make sure to get a free stock. If you sign up and deposit $100, we both could get a free stock. Right now they are running a special where I think we get 2 or 3 free stocks when you sign up. All right, so here we're looking at the top 20 ETFs, and this is based on returns from September 30th. So this is up to Q3 of 2020, and the returns here are amazing. The best return has returned 114%, and the 20th best ETF has returned 65.3%. And like I said, first let's start off by and one thing I do want to mention is some of these are ETNs. Most of them are ETFs. I'm not going to be too focused on ETNs. We're just going to mainly focus on the ETF sides. But let's start off by looking at the sectors they're hitting. So first, the number one is going to be XVZ. This one is pretty much just a volatility ETN, so there's not many positions that they own here. The second one is TAN, T-A-N. This is a solar sector one. Next, we have VIX-M. This is another volatility. VXC is number 4, which is also another volatility. Those are the only ETNs, SVC, VIX-M, and VXC. Those are the ones we're not really going to take a look at today. But next, number 5 comes with ARK G, which is their genomic ETF. Then we have ARK W with their internet ETF. Then we have ARK K with their innovation ETF. So we can see ARK is dominating as the best ETFs. They're in the top, most of them are in the top 10. And there's another one, number 20 is ARK F in their fintech. What else do we have? We have QCLN, which is in the clean energy. This is very similar to TAN, which was number 2 and was in the solar. We have PBW, which is also in the clean energy. We have ONLN, which is in the online retail. We have FNGS, which is a pretty much mix. And like I said, we're going to look at the overall holdings in a bit. We also have CLIX, which is in the online retail. IBUY, which is in the online retail. OGIG, which is in the internet. We have IPO, which is pretty cool. I like this one a lot. It's on the IPOs that have just started. Then we have KGRN, which is China Environmental. Again, very clean energy, very solar, but mainly based in China positions. Then we have WCLD, which is cloud computing. We have ACES, which is clean energy. We have Hero, HERO, which is gaming. And then we have ARK F, which is fintech. So if you guys listen to those, we can see there's definitely certain markets that are really popular right now that are making this 20. So out of these top 20, 3 of them are in volatility. These we're not really going to focus on about just because most of them just really own the VIX and do multiple trading within the VIX that I don't think we can learn much about them. 5 of these top 20, so about 25% of all the ETFs, of the top 20 ETFs were in clean energy. This had to do either with some form of solar or some form of clean energy outside of solar power. 3 out of the 20 are in online retail. 2 out of the top 20 were internet, 2 were pretty much mixed. This had a little bit of everything, and 5 were others, and others that they were in specific markets but nothing big. Like I mentioned, we had fintech in there, we had gaming in there, we had cloud compute, we had IPOs, and we had genomic by ARK. So we can see right now the biggest ones that have done amazing have been clean energy, online retail, and internet. And obviously we have that gaming in there and we have that fintech in there as well. So next, let's take a look at who owns these ETFs and who runs them. And I do think this is actually pretty cool because it gives us some form of insight of maybe we can check out their websites, get some form of information. Maybe they might provide a lot more information to investors, to those that want to learn more about them. And I actually highlighted the ones that I thought were pretty cool, and ones I want to do a little more research about. Maybe you guys, if you guys want, you guys can go and check them out as well. So first, I want to say it's pretty impressive. Out of the 20 top ETFs that we saw here, 4 of them were owned by ARK, ARKG, ARKW, ARK, and ARKF. All those, and that's pretty impressive, right? That is insane. The only one that didn't make it in here, I think, was ARK Autonomous Robotics from their main ETFs. 2 of them were owned by iPath. The iPath were mainly the volatility ones. Again, not ones we're really gonna take a look at. 2 of them were owned by ProShares, and 2 of them were owned by Invesco. And the reason I thought it was pretty impressive for ARK is pretty small compared to iPath, compared to ProShares, and compared to Invesco's. And the ones that I highlighted in greens are ones I liked a lot. And the reason I like them a lot is because they're very small. They're smaller firms compared to the ProShares, compared to the iPath, compared to the Invesco's. So I believe they provide a little more. They have more room to provide a little more insight to investors or people that want to learn more about. For example, ProShares and iPath, they own so many different ETFs that they don't really share too much information outside of their normal holdings. But ARK, if you guys know much about ARK, they do their daily trades. You can look at their daily holdings. You can look at their everything from their summary sheet to a lot of information on all these ETFs. The other one I liked was Amplified. They had online retails. We had OShares, which is OGIG, which was in the internet. Renaissance was another one. Crane Shares is one that's very into international, mainly China. They had a lot of ETFs just based on China, which I thought were pretty cool. Then we had Global X, which does a lot of gaming ETFs, so I'm pretty happy about them too. And then, like I mentioned, ARK. So all right, so next let's take a look at their total holding size. But before we do that, guys, don't forget to check out my second channel, Jose Najarro Entrepreneur, where I post new videos every Friday, Sundays, and Wednesdays. And I pretty much just talk about the overall way to improve oneself. I've been doing this for the past 7-8 years right now, learning, thinking of ways to overall improve my overall financial life. And these are other ways outside of stock markets that I have found throughout my process. So make sure to check out that channel, like I mentioned, Jose Najarro Entrepreneur. All right, so now let's take a look at these number of holdings. And this is one that I'm pretty excited to talk about, right? Because so many people say, and this is one thing that I hear a lot, that for you to do great in the overall portfolio, for you to beat the market, you need to be a very, very concentrated portfolio. So what's the best thing to do right now? Then take a look at these top 20 ETFs. The top 20 ETFs all have been in the market and have done amazing returns, right? If we take a look at it, the year to date, the weakest portfolio has done 65.3%. The highest has done 114. So obviously we can get a lot of information from them. The first thing I want to show is the lowest amount of holdings is ETFs with only 1 positions. And these are these ETNs. These aren't even ETFs. These were those volatilities that I mentioned we didn't really want to take a look at, but I still wanted to mention them in there because these are part of the top 20. So the next smallest after those 1 is actually this one, FNGS, which owns 10 positions. The highest position size is 72. 72. So you can see you can own a portfolio from about 10, or you can own a portfolio that has 72 positions and still destroy the market. Now let's take a look at the median. The median is used really good when we have a few outliers. Those outliers here are like those ones, right? So the median is 43.5 positions. And then I also wanted to do the average, not counting the ones with the single positions. And that was 43.1, which makes sense, is closer to that median once we took out of those outliers. So you can see, right, you can have a position, the average position size, the median position size as well for these top 20 ETFs that are destroying the market are 43.5 or about 43. Many people might consider that way over diversified, but these guys are killing it. Again, we also have a position of 20. We have a few positions of 27s. So we have 10. Then after 10, the next smallest is 27. We have 3 27s. And then after that, it's all high 30s. So you can see there, There are positions of all different sizes here, so you can invest the way you want to invest. I know with my 50 position size that I am still able to destroy the market and beat the market, very similar to these ETFs as well. The next thing I wanted to look at, another thing I hear so many people talk about, Jose, okay, you might have, these companies might have a lot of, these ETFs might have a lot of positions, but I guarantee you that their top 10 hold most of their portfolio, that their top 10 are easily probably 70% of their portfolio. And let's take a look at how that looks. So the top 10 positions, the highest ETFs are 100%. The top 10 positions make up 100% of their portfolio. If we take off XV, VIXM, and VXC, which are those volatility, which we're not really looking at because they only have one single position, and that's pretty much the VIX, and they do a lot of trading. The other one was FANGS, FNGS, which actually only owns 10 positions, and so obviously those top 10 positions make up the 100%. Then after that, the next highest after that 100% is 68.08%. What is the lowest? The lowest percentage of holdings of the top 10 comes from iBuy. iBuy, their top 10 positions only make up 28.96% of their total portfolio. So we can see you don't even need to have your top 10 positions make up a huge portion of your portfolio. Actually, we have one at 23.87%, WCLD, that again, only their top 10 only make up 23.87% of their portfolio. We have a few 35s, we see a 32 here, we have 43 on average. And the median is about 55.45 and the mean is about 52.6. But we can see, right? So what is this telling us? That, okay, our top 10 positions, if they make up around the average and median are about 50%. So again, that's actually pretty good news. It's good to understand, but we saw some positions here way below that 50%. Like I mentioned, we have two that are in the 20 percentage. We have we have two in the 30 percentage, and we have also two in the 40 percentage. So we can see one can have not only different amount of positions, but those top 10 positions can range from anywhere in the spectrum and still do amazing. Obviously, it seems like they still need to hold a big position. As we saw, the smallest was 23.87. So I'm actually happy I'm doing this video, right? Because it gives a lot of insight. I mean, I pretty much talk about this most of my time, right? I say I think one can definitely have multiple positions, but a self-taught investor like myself, and check out the merch, might not mean a lot. But now that we have some data that, hey, these top 20 ETFs that have destroyed the market, that probably have destroyed most of the portfolios, most of these have actually destroyed my portfolio as well. So I mean, seeing from them that, hey, there's no magic formula to the amount of position sizes you have. And again, then there's no magic formula to how many those top 10 positions you have can really affect. So what I'm seeing here is that at the end of the day, invest in smart companies, invest in however you want, and there is multiple ways to beat the portfolio. So now let's actually take a look at their top 10 holdings. Like I mentioned, XVC, VIXM, and VXC are all volatility. So all they do is trade the VIX future. I'm not too knowledgeable in the ETNs world, so I'm not 100% what they do and why they only hold the VIX future, but those are doing amazing. Maybe I should do a little more research on that. And if you guys want to do a video on that, let me know. If you guys want me to do a video on that, let me know. But we can see TAN, which was in the solar, their top, and I'll just read the top 3 holdings. For TAN, it was ENPH, SEDG, and most likely a Chinese sector 968. In ARKG, we have CRSP, NVTA, PACB. ARKW, we have Tesla, Roku, Square, ARK, we have Tesla, NVTA again, we have Roku. In QCLN, we have NEO, ENPH. ENPH is one we saw again in that solar one. We have Tesla. In PBW, we have NEO, KNDI, Fuel Cell. In the online, we have Amazon, Baba, Cortea. In FANGs, we have Twitter, Tesla, Apple. In CLIX, we have Amazon, Baba, Cortea. In iBuy, we have Lyft, Trip, Cortea. In OGIG, we have Amazon, Baba, Google. In IPO, we have Uber, Zoom, and Pins. In KGRN, we have another NEO there, BYD and 586. In WCLD, we have NET, SEN, and Zoom. In ACES, we have Plug and other ENPH, Run. In Hero, we have C, Nvidia, Nintendo. And in ARK, we have Square, Pins, and Melly. So actually, now that I'm looking at these, if you guys want me to do another video, what I was thinking of doing is maybe a video just taking a look at these 5 companies that did clean energy, these 5 ETFs that destroyed that are clean energy. Maybe also do one episode on the 3 online retails, and maybe do one on like the 2 internet ones to see what are their actual holdings and take a look at some of those holdings and look a little more in depth. But I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. I feel like I personally learned a lot doing this, and pretty much every time I do a video is videos that I believe provide value to me and in respect provide value to my viewers. So I hope you guys enjoy it. Take care, have a good night, see you next time, and peace out. Like always, don't forget to smash that like button. It helps so much with the YouTube algorithm. And let me know in the comments if you want me to do an episode on the clean energy ETFs.